Cavendish well placed still on the wheel.
Here comes the team of De Koninck Quick-Step.
You know what my next question is going to be. Are you thinking about that?
Don't say the name, don't say the name.
I didn't say anything.
I'm not thinking about anything. Didn't think I'd ever get to come back to this race.
Who's going to win in Fougères? Is it going to be Cavendish? Cavendish takes the stage! Cavendish in the centre, and Mark Cavendish wins number 32. Cavendish, 33 wins in the Tour de France. Merckx's record is on.
I just won a stage of the Tour, and that's what people work their whole lives for, you know.
Stage 13 is one of the longest of this year's Tour, 220 kilometres between Nîmes and Carcassonne. Would the record-chasing Mark Cavendish put De Koninck Quick-Step on the front and ride for a bunch sprint, or would it be another one for the breakaway? That was the question. Another hot day in the south of France, but crucially not as windy as yesterday. There were no real echelons to speak of as they left Nîmes, but still plenty of attacks. A lot of teams trying to send a man up the road because there won't be many opportunities to win between now and Paris. 2,000 kilometres down, 1,400 to go. The pace was high for the first 20k until three men finally squeezed out a gap. Pierre Latour of Total Energies, joined by two Tour debutants, Omer Goldstein from Israel Startup Nation and Sean Bennett from Kubega Next Hash. De Koninck Quick-Step were happy with that trio and were soon policing the peloton, shutting down a couple of moves from DSM and Trek Segafredo.
Another attack, and DSM aren't happy with this, so they decide with Mark Donovan to try and turn the pace up. De Koninck Quick-Step there, Tom Scoynes looking for an opportunity.
Maintenant 4 minutes et 15 secondes, 4 minutes et 15, 4 minutes 15.
The three breakaway riders weren't given too much rope by the sprint teams, with the gap never exceeding 5 minutes. Race leader Tadej Pogačar flanked by UAE Team Emirates, with De Koninck Quick-Step still doing most of the work in the peloton. Petr Vakoč also up there for Alpecin Fenix sprinter Jasper Philipsen. The intermediate sprint came with just over 100 kilometres still to ride.
Michael Matthews, Philipsen, then Morkau trying to bring Mark Cavendish through to take these points. There are 13 points on offer, so it's a good moment for them, and Cavendish decides that he's not going to contest it hard. Colbrelli, Matthews, Morkau, Philipsen, Cavendish.
The gap down to under 2 minutes before a moment of drama in the bunch.
Attention, pour l'arrière, il y a des gravillons sur la route, attention.
Oh, a huge crash.
Oh, that's a terrible crash. The peloton that was going at very high speeds there.
A lot of riders have crashed. Some have gone into the ditch. The speed was 75 kilometers an hour at the time.
Well,
An incredible crash.
It's happened quite close to the back of the bunch. A lot of riders there going down the ditch. That's a terrible crash, and it will be very hard to come back from this.
What an awful crash.
Abandon du 178. Abandon du 178, Simon Yates, bike exchange.
Simon Yates, Lucas Hamilton and Roger Kluger all abandoning after that crash as the peloton closed on the breakaway. Bennett had already gone by this point, and it didn't take them long to bring back Goldstein and Latour with just over 50 kilometres to go. Everything nicely set up for the bunch sprint then, although there was one solo effort late in the day.
Another attack, it comes from B&B Hotels. This looks like Quentin Pacher just trying to go clear again.
Quentin Pacher pulling around a minute clear of the peloton, but he was never out of their crosshairs. Cavendish's team still working hard as they caught up to the Frenchman.
Pacher is about to be caught. Are we going to see Eddie Merckx's record matched by Mark Cavendish? De Koninck Quick-Step are getting set for the biggest lead out in decades.
Here we have Casper Asgreen still holding the pace. He's looking under his arm. Is Ballerini ready there to take over? Ballerini looking. Where's Michael Morkow? Cavendish well placed, still on the wheel.
The arrival then of Team DSM. They go round the left-hander. DSM make their move. Cavendish is still in the right position. Matti Moric is leading out Sonny Colbrelli. Here comes the team of De Koenig Quickstep, but Nasser Bouhanni has sneaked himself in. Cavendish trying to find his way out of the box, and there's an attack at the front, and it's Ballerini. Ballerini goes clear for De Koenig Quickstep. Cavendish is about to get ready, but Ballerini has a little bit of a gap on the rest of the riders. Who's going to take this one? Morkow is getting set to lead out Mark Cavendish. Is this going to be the record of Merckx? Philipsen goes on the left-hand side. Mark Cavendish, the Manx missile, matches Merckx. 34 wins in the Tour de France. He's just said, we just made history.
Now I can ask the question, what's it like to be the equal of Eddy Merckx? What's it like to be the record holder of stage wins on the Tour de France?
Wow. It's still just another win on the Tour de France. It's like my first one. I've won a stage of the Tour de France. That is what I dreamed of as a kid. If any one of my wins can inspire them kids to ride the Tour de France or the Tour de France Femmes next year, when they grow up, then that's what means the most to me, I think.
He is the fastest man in the world right now, Mark Cavendish. Nobody can match the speed of this amazing kid. Streets ahead of the Tour de France when it comes to a sprint finish.
"46 years after Merckx took his 34th stage win, his incredible record has been matched by the Manx missile. Pogacar stayed out of trouble today and still boasts a commanding lead as we head towards the Pyrenees, where Nairo Quintana will look to defend his polka dot jersey. Pogacar and his closest rival in white, Jonas Vingegaard, will also renew hostilities after the Ventoux. As for Cav, he'll now switch to survival mode. If he can get through the Pyrenees, the outright record and a second green jersey could be waiting in week 3.